Do you remember our music from 1978? I bet there's a few songs you've forgotten. Please tell us in the comments which you remember and which you've forgotten. Willie Nelson's version of Georgia on My Mind stands as a testament to his rebellious spirit.
Georgia, Georgia.
Nelson, who began his career in the 1950s writing hits for other artists, faced significant criticism for daring to cover Ray Charles' signature song. The country music establishment considered it sacrilege for a country artist to tackle such a renowned R&B interpretation. What's particularly intriguing about Nelson's version is how it came to be recorded. During a period when he was battling his record label over artistic control, Nelson deliberately chose songs that crossed genre boundaries. He recorded Georgia on My Mind in just one take, refusing to do additional recordings despite the label's protest about technical imperfections. This defiance became a defining moment in the outlaw country movement. Here's something that might surprise you. Willie Nelson's version was actually recorded with members of Ray Charles' band, who secretly participated in the session without their boss's knowledge. When Charles later heard Nelson's version, he reportedly called Willie and said, "You took my song, but you took it good." Tulsa Time by Don Williams emerged during a period when country music was fighting to maintain its identity.
Living on Tulsa time.
Williams, who started his musical journey in 1964 with the folk pop group the Pozo Seco Singers, took an unorthodox path to country stardom. Unlike many of his contemporaries who chased the Nashville sound, Williams deliberately cultivated a laid-back style that earned him the nickname the Gentle Giant. This decision initially put him at odds with record executives who wanted a more commercial sound. The song itself, written by Danny Flowers, captures the essence of small-town life and the struggle between ambition and contentment. What many don't know is that Eric Clapton recorded his version of Tulsa Time simultaneously with Williams, creating an unusual situation where both versions competed for airplay. The song's success helped Williams maintain his artistic integrity when many country artists were being pressured to adopt a more pop-oriented sound. A fascinating detail about Tulsa Time is that it was almost never recorded. Danny Flowers originally wrote it while working as a guitarist in Williams' band and kept it to himself, thinking it wasn't good enough. It was only when Williams overheard him playing it during a sound check that the song found its destiny. I've Always Been Crazy by Waylon Jennings dropped like a bombshell in 1978.
I've always been crazy, but it's kept me from going.
Jennings, who started his career as Buddy Holly's bassist and nearly escaped death by giving up his seat on Holly's fatal flight, wrote this song during one of the darkest periods of his life. He was battling a severe cocaine addiction and facing potential bankruptcy due to IRS troubles. The song's raw honesty about mental health and addiction was revolutionary for its time. Radio stations were initially hesitant to play it. Concerns about its controversial lyrics addressing substance abuse and mental instability persisted. Jennings fought back against censorship attempts, threatening to withdraw all his music from stations that wouldn't play the unedited version. The song became an unexpected anthem for mental health awareness, decades before such discussions became mainstream. In a twist of fate, the recording session for this song was interrupted by a DEA raid on the studio. Jennings later claimed that he finished the vocal track while agents were waiting outside, giving the performance an extra edge of genuine tension. Hey friends, if these stories bring back memories, share them in the comments below. Did you ever see any of these artists live? Hit that like button and subscribe to keep these musical memories alive. Now, let's keep the stories flowing. The Gambler by Kenny Rogers transformed a struggling pop singer into a country music icon.
You gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold up.
Rogers, who had previously found success with the first edition, was facing career extinction when he took a gamble on this Don Schlitz pen masterpiece. What many don't know is that several prominent artists, including Johnny Cash, had already passed on the song. The recording session became legendary for its tension. Rogers and producer Larry Butler got into a heated argument over the song's arrangement, with Rogers storming out of the studio multiple times. The final version we know today was actually a compromise between their competing visions. The song's poker metaphor resonated deeply with America during a period of economic uncertainty, though Rogers later admitted he'd never played a serious game of poker in his life. A little-known fact, the character of the gambler was based on a real person, Schlitz's grandfather, who had been a professional gambler during the Great Depression. The original lyrics contained a much darker ending that was changed at the last minute. Blue Morning, Blue Day showcases Foreigner at their most vulnerable.
New morning, new day, won't you see?
The band, formed in 1976 by British guitarist Mick Jones and American vocalist Lou Gramm, faced constant criticism for being manufactured despite their genuine musical chemistry. The song emerged from a period of intense internal conflict, with Jones and Gramm barely speaking to each other during recording sessions. The track's distinctive sound came from an unusual source. The band recorded the basic tracks in a bathroom to achieve the right acoustic effect. This unorthodox decision led to a dispute with their record label, who initially refused to release what they called toilet recordings. The song's theme of depression and isolation were drawn from Graham's struggles with undiagnosed bipolar disorder, though this wasn't publicly known until years later. Here's something unexpected. The distinctive guitar riff was actually played on a guitar with only 5 strings. During recording, one string broke, and rather than replace it, Jones decided he preferred the slightly off-kilter sound that it created. We're All Alone by Rita Coolidge came with its own share of controversy.
We're all alone. We're all
Coolidge, who had been a sought-after backup singer for artists like Eric Clapton and Stephen Stills, faced significant industry skepticism about her ability to carry a song as a lead vocalist. The song, written by Boz Scaggs, had already been recorded by several artists, leading to accusations that Coolidge was merely copying other success. What makes this version special is the behind-the-scenes drama. Coolidge recorded it while going through a painful divorce from Chris Christopherson, and many of the session musicians were friends with both artists, creating palpable tension in the studio. The emotional weight of her personal situation infused the recording with a depth that previous versions lacked. The song's success helped establish Coolidge as a leading voice in the industry, though she continued to face criticism for her Native American activism and outspoken political views. An interesting tidbit, the final mix of the song includes a barely audible argument between 2 studio musicians that nobody noticed until after release. If you listen carefully at the 2:47 mark, you might catch it. If you're enjoying these musical memories, don't keep them to yourself. Share this video with friends who appreciate real music with real stories. Click subscribe and ring that bell to make sure you never miss our next journey through music history. Now, let's dive into more forgotten classics. Sweet Life by Paul Davis offers a glimpse into the complexities of late 70s pop music.
we live in such a sweet life. Oh, what a neat life.
Davis, who started his career writing advertising jingles in Mississippi, faced constant pressure to conform to either country or pop conventions. Instead, he created his own distinctive style that industry executives couldn't categorize, leading to limited initial promotion of his work. The recording of Sweet Life was plagued by technical difficulties. The studio's air conditioning broke during a heat wave, causing instruments to go out of tune constantly. Davis insisted on keeping many of these slightly out of tune takes, arguing that they added character to the recording. This decision created ongoing tensions with his label, who wanted to re-record the entire song with session musicians. Few people know that Davis wrote Sweet Life as a response to a fan letter from a terminally ill teenager. He never publicly revealed this fact during his lifetime, feeling it would exploit the young fan's memory. She Believes in Me stands as another Kenny Rogers classic from this pivotal year.
And she believes in me.
This song represented a significant risk for Rogers, as it departed from his usual storytelling style for a more introspective approach. Some radio stations initially refused to play it, arguing it wasn't country enough, a criticism that deeply frustrated Rogers. The recording process revealed the song's deeper layers. Rogers insisted on recording his vocals in near darkness, claiming it helped him connect with the song's emotional core. This unusual request led to several accidents in the studio, including Rogers walking into a microphone stand and causing a delay in recording. The song's theme of artistic struggle resonated particularly well with Rogers' older male audience, many of whom saw their own life challenges reflected in the lyrics. Here's an unexpected detail. The song was actually written about a painter, not a musician, but Rogers changed the context slightly in his interpretation. The original songwriter, Steve Gibb, was inspired by his wife's support of his struggling art career. Heartbreaker showcases Dolly Parton's artistic evolution in 1978. Parton, who had already established herself as a country music powerhouse, faced significant backlash for incorporating more pop elements into her sound. The song's production marked a deliberate departure from her earlier work, though many traditionalists accused her of selling out her country roots. The recording sessions proved challenging, as Parton battled bronchitis throughout. Rather than delay recording, she chose to push through, giving her voice the slightly raspy quality that became one of the song's distinctive features. The song's themes of romantic betrayal drew from real-life experiences, though Parton has never revealed the specific inspiration, saying only that everybody's got their own heartbreaker story. A surprising fact, the iconic guitar riff was played by Parton herself, though many assumed it was a session musician. She had secretly been taking guitar lessons for months to prove she could handle more complex instrumental parts. And Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue by Crystal Gayle closes our journey through 1978's forgotten classics.
And don't it make my brown eyes blue.
Gayle, the younger sister of Loretta Lynn, struggled to emerge from her sister's shadow. Many country music purists criticized her for her pop-leaning sound and glamorous image, considering it a betrayal of her Kentucky roots. The song's recording history reveals interesting details about the music industry's evolution. The distinctive piano intro was actually a mistake. Pianist Hargus Pig Robbins was just warming up when the tape started rolling. Producer Alan Reynolds made the unusual decision to keep it, despite the record label's objections. This happy accident became one of the song's most memorable elements. Here's something most people don't know. Crystal Gayle's eyes are actually blue, not brown. This ironic detail caused some controversy when the song was released, with some radio DJs jokingly refusing to play it due to what they called false advertising. We've journeyed through some remarkable moments in music history. If you've enjoyed these stories, make sure to subscribe and join our community of music lovers who appreciate the depth and complexity of these forgotten classics. Share your own memories in the comments below, and don't forget to like and share this video with friends who understand that good music never goes out of style. Until next time, keep those records spinning and those memories alive.